So basically, my question is today, 2 weeks ago, there was a shooting here, as you know, those people passed away right there, yeah.
Like, why do you think this is happening? Like, too many shootings, too many, violence.
Why do you think these shootings are increasing here in Toronto?
We seen a rapper 3-4 weeks ago getting shot, Smoke Dogg, as you know.
Yeah.
A lot of this is going on, and how can we prevent this, and what do we need to do as a community? Why is this increasing in Toronto? Guns being common now, and people are not having trust anymore. It's kind of like insecurity. At nighttime, families are not able to be together anymore, and you see all this increasing slowly. But why is that, according to you?
I think one of the interesting things about Toronto is it's a city in Canada, but it's very close to the United States, and that it's a border city.
Yeah.
And because it's probably an economic hub and a major metropolitan area, it mimics a lot of the things that happens in the United States. People watch a lot of American content, and they're closely related to the lifestyle that people live in major metropolitan areas in the United States. So I think you're going to see a lot of similar events transpire that happen stateside that we've seen happen in Toronto, just because it's practically the 51st state when you think about it. It's a very similar place to Chicago, New York, LA. So
big city.
It's a big city. It's a super city. And so I think the problems that major metropolitan areas have, you're going to start to see that here in Toronto. And we have a very close relationship with Americans.
I think this stuff is just happening all over the place.
Right.
But if you go down to America, you got people who are opposed to guns. They say guns kill people, and then other people who say that it's the people who are mentally disturbed that kill other people.
I don't know, it's always been known as like a good area around here. Like nothing like this usually ever happens, especially on Danforth. Like it's just like it's kind of unusual for this to happen.
Yes, I do think they are. Too many guns are easy to get.
Yeah, you think that? Specifically here in Toronto or like worldwide?
It's probably worldwide it's happening, not just here.
Worldwide? Okay.
Okay, this is my neighborhood where I lived 35 years ago. And I left it, and I live in the country now. I live by a lake, and everything is very quiet. So I do see Toronto going through not a happy time.
Not a happy time.
I think sometimes young people are disaffected, not connected, don't have a sense of community. Something tragic has happened to them or is about to happen, and I think they're suicidal, and I don't understand why they have to kill people if they want to die. Why do you have to kill them?
Lots of guns are getting bad.
Do you think they get it from here or from like America or something?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's kind of both it is.
Yeah,
Canada and the U.S.
Yeah, because they're really close together, especially Toronto.
Yeah, they are.
There's a lot of access to guns. And, it hasn't been a prevalent issue in our society, so I don't think we've taken it as seriously as the United States has. They've got a lot of laws that probably are overreaching, but still they're very aware of the situation.
Well, the city's growing. Toronto's booming right now.
Right.
So it's over 5 million people in the GTA. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the United Nations, we are the most ethnically diverse city on the planet, multiculturally, religious, ethnicity. And so for me, I think that's a good thing when you get that much diversity, because that's where you get a lot of great ideas from, when you get people from different backgrounds. On the flip side of the coin, sometimes people say, well, that could be a bad thing because there's a clash of cultures.
Right.
So I think that's what's probably happening right now, especially on the Danforth right here.
Right.
The shooting took place this part between Pape and Broadview, which is Greektown.
Right.
But then just east of us here is where they have the predominantly Muslim population and even have a mosque down the street.
I see.
So there's a clash of cultures right there.
What do you think we can do to like prevent this?
Now you gotta stop selling guns.
Stop selling guns?
The government's gotta do something.
Yeah.
Too innocent kids get prisons.
Yeah, that's true. And do you have any views on this?
The guns are getting bad.
They're getting, sorry?
They're getting bad, the guns.
Oh, they're getting, yeah.
Gun trafficking, if you're a border city, there's a lot of access to guns. And, it hasn't been a prevalent issue in our society, so I don't think we've taken it as seriously as the United States has. They've got a lot of laws that probably are overreaching, but still they're very aware of the situation.
No, and it's probably based on things like their age, their color, maybe sometimes their religion. So it's not based on knowing that person.
I think it's a mix of both. Like, they're just not mentally right, but they also plan it at the same time.
So that's like the problem.
So what do you think like Toronto or the city, the community can do to like kind of minimize these acts, these criminal acts? Like, what do you think maybe the police, the government, maybe the community even could do to kind of reduce this number?
I think you guys are doing your part right now. I think the conversation, you guys doing these videos, posting them, and other people being engaged and creating conversation. I think there's a certain segment of the population that has the guns, and I think once we shed light on that and we make that holding that position uncomfortable, then I think it'll alleviate a lot of the pressures and tensions in our society. But it takes a community to step up and to call out the people that are, bringing the community down. So I think as long as the conversation keeps going and you pass it along to the people who are in a position to talk to the people with the guns, then that's going to be, I think for me, that's always the best way to go about it. I'm not a big fan of legislating action, creating new laws, and kind of, going top down. I like bottom up. So I think it's on the people. The responsibility always lies with the people at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I think we should be trying to be kind to each other and give the other person the benefit of the doubt first, as much as possible.
Yeah.
Right now we're going through a bad time politically. We're being nasty and mean and sexist and hateful. We are having way too many important people showing this behavior and not having a lot of people opposing it. And so I think Canada's potentially on the right track, and I hope we stay the course.
I don't know if there's really much we can do other than just like as a community just being like more aware of this stuff and like hopefully like teaching our kids to be like, as we grow up more, to be like more aware of this so that it doesn't happen with our kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
As long as we're alive in this world, you're going to have some good people, you're going to have some bad people. You're going to have some law-abiding citizens, and you're going to have some people who like to break the law and like to be, for lack of a better description, shit disturbers.
Right.
Because they don't like the way, our way of life, so to speak. They don't, because it doesn't mesh with the way they were brought up from wherever they come from. People like to say, for a while, thank God I live in Toronto, those things. We don't have airplanes flying in towers in Toronto, thank God.
Right.
Well, now we have these kind of things happening in Toronto. People say, wait a second here, like, this is happening in our neighborhood,
So what advice do you have to like normal people or like people like you and me to like protect themselves from something like this?
Well, I think life goes on. You can't live in fear.
Right.
And like after that happened, I came here the next day and I had dinner at the restaurants and stuff. I walk up and down the street because it's a nice neighborhood.
Right.
You can't live in fear because of one raging lunatic. You can't have 5 million people living scared because of one raging lunatic. He was shot dead anyway, so there you go.
And Akil, like, you're type of guy that you know a lot of people that I've read about you a bit on Wikipedia. You come from a background that you are very familiar with the youth. You kind of connect to the youth in ways not a lot of people can, right? And you know what the youth are into. You know what the guys are listening to. The new come up guys. The music. There's like a shift in the music now. The music has changed from the time I used to listen to it. Tupac, Biggie, guys that actually talked about the life they lived. DMX, they lived that life. But now we have a new age that guys really talk about what they're not really about. And kids listen to that. They actually think these people are real. And they actually kind of go outside and they try to buy the gun. They do that, whatever, to live that life. But what's your take on all this is going on? It's kind of like.
It's the media, it's marketing, it's people taking advantage of the fact that there's a lot of impressionable young 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds with disposable income. And when you're 15, 14, 13, 16, you're trying to figure out who you are. And so the most attractive thing to you is to rebel, is to push the limits and define the boundaries. And so I think what's happened is the higher-ups who run the companies, they've found that, putting people like 21 Savage and Lil Pump and extentation or whatever that guy's name is, out there in the limelight, is going to generate billions of dollars out of the pockets of these young people, and it's really exploiting the emotional state that they're in, because they're in a transitory phase from, you know, being non-sexual beings as young children to now they're turning into adolescence, and sex becomes a big issue, and toughness becomes a big issue, and they're preying on those young people, and then those young people's interests, they kind of permeate like pop culture, and adults kind of pick up on what the young kids are doing, and so it's kind of cyclical. So it's a dangerous point, but I think conversation, again, us saying these things and creating these
not talking about them, you know, not having the courage to do that, you know.
Yeah, I think as long as we're talking about it, I think we're in a good situation where someone's going to hear a different opinion, because with the consolidation of media, only 3 companies own all the television stations, like, you're not going to hear a lot of difference of opinion, and that creates a lot of danger.
And you, obviously, coming from a basketball background, you know, you've been really engaged with the sport from a long time, right? What do you think basketball can do to prevent this issue? You know, sports generally, not only basketball, but like sports when you talk about. What can they do to the youth to not get them, you know?
I think sports in general creates a group consciousness, creates a community. So I think when you engage in sport, the concept of team becomes more prevalent in your life.
Yeah.
And then as a fan, you identify with the larger group, but I think it's identifying with groups that really help stop violence. I think if you feel alienated, I'm a black guy, I'm an Indian guy, I'm a white guy, I'm from this neighborhood, I'm a blood, I'm a Crip, I think that breeds violence. So I think if you can identify with the larger group of people, that always leads to a more peaceful society. And I think sports has always done that. Maple Leaf fans, when they're outside and they're together, Raptors fans, when they're together, TFC when they're walking down, Jurassic Park. Yeah, so I think that's one of the interesting roles the sport has, is it brings people together.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And always good seeing you, man.
Pleasure.
You know, good luck next year. Hopefully we make it to the finals. I'll see you in the finals.
Right.
I'll be in the stands. You know, I'll try waving my hand. You throw the shirts. You know, I'll catch it. You know.
Pleasure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Take care, guys. Take care, guys. Pleasure.
All right, sir. I appreciate your time. It's good to know how you think about the situation, and hopefully, you know, the situation gets better and not much of these things happen.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, man. It was a really good insight, eh?
Yeah.
We have a channel named We All Blessed.
We all blessed.
Yeah, so you're going to feature, man. Don't worry, man.
thanks.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for participating, man. Thank you so much, miss.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Good luck.
So, guys, we finished the video. We asked the people the questions. It was very good, man. How was it?
It was very nice.
How was it, brother?
Very good.
It was very good, man. And we got a big guest, Akil Augustine, man. Shout out to the brother. Shout out to the Toronto Raptors. MashaAllah, may Allah bless them. May God bless them, man. A lot of people said a lot of good stuff, man. We learned a lot, man. And basically, out of this video, what can you take out?
I can take that people have a lot of views about what happened, the shooting, and what we can do to make it better. Yeah.
Okay, son. So what do you think?
So basically, what I think, you know, we went inside. We asked people their opinions. They said their opinions. The man said whatever he wanted to say. And mashallah, the ladies was down there. They were telling us about what they think, how they, you know, feel about this. And we actually learned so much, man. In this short amount of time, we got insights from people that we never knew. And man, mashallah, it's a blessing from Allah. And by the way, any message to the youngins watching this?
Just be yourself, man. Go out there, learn new stuff. Yeah, meet new people.
Meet new people. What about you? The message to the youngins, the millions. I mean, not millions, but like 200 people or like 20 people watching this. What's the message?
Just keep working hard, and hopefully you'll succeed.
You know, you gotta keep working and you gotta keep grinding. So remember, man, you blessed, I blessed, and we all blessed. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.